In this podcast episode, statistician and political analyst Nate Silver joins Chris Williamson to discuss the chaotic nature of the current political landscape, the dynamics of sports betting, and the complexities of election prediction models. He delves into key battleground issues, the impact of media presence, the significance of running mates, and the challenges of polling, while also exploring the implications of recent political events and the viability of third-party candidates. Additionally, Silver shares insights on the cultural divides in America and his experiences with the crypto market. Silver discusses the current political cycle's intense and chaotic nature, likening it to a busy lobster stand in Maine during August. He emphasizes the importance of staying grounded amidst a whirlwind of events, including President Biden's withdrawal from the race, an assassination attempt, and the upcoming conventions. He notes that the rapid succession of significant incidents is unprecedented in American political history, making this election cycle particularly unique. In the realm of sports betting, Silver explains how American organizations manage risk by limiting the betting amounts of perceived winning players. This contrasts with the British betting culture, where betting shops are more prevalent. In the U.S., platforms like DraftKings restrict bets for individuals identified as sharp bettors while allowing larger bets for recreational gamblers. This practice highlights the inherent imbalance in sports betting, where the odds are structured to favor the house, ensuring a profit margin. Silver elaborates on the complexity of his election prediction models, which primarily rely on polling data and economic indicators. He points out the challenges posed by the Electoral College system, which requires an understanding of how different states interact in terms of voting patterns. The model must account for correlations between states, as shifts in polling can affect neighboring states. Silver uses a programming language called Stata to run his models, which consist of around 5,000 lines of code. Discussing the current election, Silver notes that while conditions may change, the fundamental dynamics remain similar to previous elections, particularly with Donald Trump as the Republican nominee. He highlights the persistent issue for Democrats of winning the popular vote while struggling in the Electoral College due to the concentration of their support in states with many wasted votes. Silver addresses skepticism surrounding polling, acknowledging that many people are reluctant to participate in surveys. Traditional polling methods have become less effective as fewer people answer calls from unknown numbers. Pollsters have adapted by using online methods, but the demographic skew in respondents remains a challenge. As a result, while polls can provide a snapshot of public opinion, they may not accurately reflect the views of the entire electorate. The conversation shifts to the concept of protest voting, where individuals may vote against a candidate rather than for a party they support. Silver notes that negative polarization is prevalent, with voters often motivated by grievances against the opposing party rather than enthusiasm for their own. This dynamic influences campaign messaging, with Democrats focusing on anxieties and fears related to past elections, while Republicans emphasize themes of change and immigration. Silver identifies key battleground issues for the upcoming election, highlighting abortion as a critical topic for Democrats, particularly among younger women, and immigration as a significant concern for Republicans. He suggests that the parties' messaging strategies are influenced by their respective voter demographics and psychological profiles. When discussing the sophistication of political parties in their data analysis, Silver suggests that while campaigns likely have their own models, the media tends to be more driven by narrative and emotion. He believes that campaigns are more data-oriented, using analytics to inform their strategies. The conversation also touches on Kamala Harris's media presence, with Silver suggesting that her campaign may be receiving poor advice. He argues that the Biden campaign's cautious approach to media engagement has limited Harris's visibility and outreach. Silver believes this strategy is misguided, especially given the importance of winning the popular vote in the Electoral College system. Silver reflects on the role of debates in shaping public opinion. He notes that while debates can influence undecided voters, the long campaign cycle means that many voters have already formed their opinions. The percentage of undecided voters is historically low, raising questions about how effective debates can be in swaying public sentiment. He concludes that the dynamics of the current election cycle, including the media landscape and voter behavior, create a complex environment for both candidates and analysts. The discussion then shifts to the importance of running mates in presidential elections. Silver emphasizes that the choice of a vice presidential candidate can have significant implications for a campaign. Running mates are often selected to balance the ticket, appeal to specific demographics, or bring certain strengths to the campaign. For instance, Kamala Harris's selection as Biden's running mate was seen as a strategic move to energize the base and attract diverse voters. However, Silver raises concerns about the potential pitfalls of such choices, noting that running mates can sometimes overshadow the presidential candidate or become liabilities if they do not resonate with the electorate. The podcast also delves into the implications of assassination attempts on political figures, particularly focusing on Trump. Silver discusses how such events can shift public sentiment and influence the political landscape. While the assassination attempt against Trump could have been expected to rally support for him, the actual impact was more nuanced. The timing of the event coincided with other significant political developments, including Biden's campaign struggles and the Republican National Convention. Silver suggests that while the assassination attempt may have had some effect on polling, it was not a game changer due to the complex interplay of various factors at that time. Finally, the conversation addresses the critical states likely to determine the election outcome. Silver identifies key battleground states, including Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, Arizona, Georgia, Nevada, and North Carolina. He explains that these states are pivotal due to their demographic diversity and historical voting patterns. Silver emphasizes the importance of voter turnout in these states, noting that campaigns will likely focus heavily on mobilizing supporters in these areas. He also mentions the potential for shifts in voter sentiment, particularly among younger voters and minority groups, which could influence the dynamics in these battlegrounds. Silver expresses skepticism about the viability of a third-party candidate in the current American political landscape. He notes that while there is often a desire for alternatives to the two major parties, the structural barriers and the entrenched nature of the Democratic and Republican parties make it exceedingly difficult for third-party candidates to gain traction. He highlights that third-party candidates typically struggle to secure the necessary funding, media attention, and voter support to be competitive. Silver elaborates on the concepts of the village and the river, which he uses to describe two influential cultural landscapes in America. The village represents the East Coast establishment, characterized by a politically progressive and collective orientation, while the river symbolizes a community of risk-takers, primarily found in Silicon Valley and Wall Street. Silver discusses the strengths and weaknesses of each group, emphasizing that as the economy becomes increasingly algorithm-driven, the attributes associated with the river may become more valuable. Silver shares his experiences with Sam Bankman-Fried, SBF, the founder of FTX, highlighting SBF's overconfidence and risk tolerance. He recounts initial conversations with SBF during the crypto boom, where SBF expressed a belief in risking everything to succeed. He notes that SBF's approach was not to hedge his bets, which is typically advisable for someone with significant wealth. Instead, SBF was enabled by a network of influential figures who failed to question his risky behavior. Silver discusses the psychological factors that make crypto investors particularly susceptible to scams. He attributes this vulnerability to the unique circumstances of the pandemic, where boredom and anxiety led many individuals to seek speculative investments. He emphasizes that while blockchain technology has potential, the speculative nature of the crypto market attracted individuals primarily motivated by the prospect of quick profits rather than a genuine belief in the technology's utility.